We in Vegas now, huh? I reckon we about to have a good time. So I'm sure some of y'all are out there asking, what brings Cowboy Jaman to Vegas? Well, I'll tell you. Veronica Brill has decided to host a meetup game at the Aria. Include me in it. And it's time. So now the plan is to get down the Aria, but to get down a little early. Let's meet up with some friends before the meetup game starts. Howdy. So we made it to the Aria. Unfortunately, we're late. We're very late. But we are going to try to catch up with Brad and Andrew, maybe have some pizza before the meetup festivities begin. But I'm late because traffic. All right, man. All right, with dinner over, it's time for the meetup festivities to begin. So let's get in there. After the quick meetup with Andrew and Brad, Andrew and I headed over to the poker room to get the actual festivities underway. Brad had family obligations. Veronica sure did a good job of packing the elevated Aria section with recognizable poker faces and fans. Landon, Dylan, Ebony, Jamie, Johnny Vibes, etc. All the tables would soon be full. The drinks, well, they were coming. And in the meantime, we decided to play some poker. At my table alone, we had the Moreno brothers, Andrew, and Johnny Vibes. We also had Benjamin Adler. More on him later. It's a meetup game, so the atmosphere is a ton more splashy than a standard normal poker game, but blood is still spilt. The first orbit, no blood. I won a hand pre-flop. The second orbit, however, early position opens to 10 and gets called by Johnny Vibes on the button when I look down at well, you see it. I put in the raise to $50 and the original raiser thinks for 3 or 4 seconds, gathers $175 of his chips, leaving himself with $125, and puts in the 4-bet. Johnny quickly folds, and I reckon you can probably figure out the rest. Come on.
Oh no. Holy shit. How's that happen? Oh, geez. I think you should chop it up, Jamie. What do you think? That isn't fair. What? That's not fair. I mean, a gentleman would chop it.
I know this looks like the mid-session update, but I'm literally 5 hands into this 1-3 meetup game here at Aria, and in those 5 hands, I pulled off a bluff with Ace-7 of clubs, and I've won with pocket queens, and I've doubled up aces versus kings in like the first 5 or 6 hands. But I left something in my car, so that's why I'm here. So we are off to a good start. The hot hands continue for a while. Like here, where I open 8-6 offsuit on the button and only the big blind defends. The big blind checks the ace of clubs, queen of spades, jack of hearts flop, and honestly, I can't really ask for a better flop for my hand. I smash this. A C bet is in order. I bet $15, and it accomplishes its goal of winning the pot.
Hell, I come 40,000 miles over here to see what them pretty little lips gonna do to me, babe.
Okay, let's do this next one, play at home style. I opened to $15 in early position with, well, I'll tell you later. The cutoff calls, the small blind calls, and the big blind folds. 3 of us see a flop of 7 of spades, queen of clubs, jack of hearts, and it gets checked through. The turn 3 of clubs falls, and now I bet $20.
You don't get it. Where are you betting?
Actually, I do have it.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And both opponents fold. What exact hand do I have?
That was way the best hand.
If you said pocket sixes, well, then you're as bad at poker as I am. Congrats.
But every single time that I come around, it seems you got another man trying to keep you down, baby. Well, you might think you're driving me insane, but I made the game that you're trying to play. You know, I think you maybe ought to know this ain't my first rodeo. I've been around long enough to know some things you can't take back. Some things you just got to let go. Yes. Well, hell, I got Sammy on the phone, Nikki at home, trying to get along. So
As the meetup game continued, the dynamics changed a bit. Some players left for other engagements, some busted, but overall the table fell into the rhythm of a normal 1-2 game as opposed to the more splashy meetup variety. Here, I open ace-8 of clubs under the gun and get called by the middle position player in both blinds. Like I said, a normal 1-2 game. The ace of hearts, queen of spades, 6 of clubs flop is now being seen by 4 people. The blinds check to me, and although I have a weakish top pair, I'm out of position, so I elect to check. The flop checks around. The turn, this is where things get more interesting. The 6 of spades falls, and now the small blind leads out for 1/4 pot. The big blind folds. With the bet being the size that it is, I call, as does the player behind me. The river 3 of diamonds changes almost nothing. The backdoor spade flush draw misses, as do any flop gut shots, and that's about it. However, the small blind leads again, into 2 people that call it the flop, and this time for $40. Does anyone do this with a queen? No. How about ace-7? Again, no. I fold, and the player behind me follows suit. The small blind shows us a 6, but we kind of already knew that, right?
So I might squeeze in a little bit of pretty good. Nice outfit, man. Looking pretty sick.
It's Matt Vaughn. It's Matt Vaughn.
Okay.
It's mid-session update time.
Oh.
We're going to go do mid-session update.
Okay.
Mid-session update.
All right, peace.
I've been around long enough to know some things you can't take back. Some things you just got to let go. Yes.
So it is mid-session update time for Veronica's meetup game. Insider Andrew Nemi, Ebony Kinney, Landon Tice, obviously Veronica. Johnny Vibes was here, he took off. Jamie Kerstetter, on and on and on. In fact, I just bumped into Matt Vaughn. It looks like he just showed up. As far as the game, I doubled up right away. Aces versus kings. A couple hands later, felt it another guy. Ace, king, offsuit versus pocket queens. And since then, I've just been coasting. We're having drinks, we're having a good time, and we're just hanging out. So I'm gonna probably do this for another 2, maybe 3 hours. then let's see how I feel. Maybe we'll get into something bigger, something deeper, something somewhere else. Hang in there. That is your mid-session update. Cowboy Jaman style.
Mid-session update over, and we return to the table to find that it has changed dramatically. 3 players have left, 2 new players are at the table, and quite a few of the remaining stacks are really short. The short stackiness of some of the villains is going to make pushing small edges hard because they'll just shove. Oh well, let's play. Action folded to me and I look down a Queen 10 offsuit for middle position and open to a smaller $10. Next to act calls, the small blind calls, and the big blind comes along. Jack of spades, 4 of spades, 3 of diamonds, and the blinds check to me. I check with the player behind me, and he follows suit. 4 checks. The turn king of spades is great. Now I have 2 draws, both straight and flush, and when both blinds check to me, I bet $20 so that we can commence the process of starting a war. To my surprise, though, the player on my left folds, the small blind folds, and the big blind folds. I really expected resistance. I guess they all just had ace-6 offsuit?
Well, I got Sammy on the phone, Nikki at home, trying to get along so I can be with you, baby. No, I ain't got time to change your mind.
Some hands in this vlog are played better than others. This one is butchered. Just bad. It starts out fine. Middle position opens to 12 and I find a 3-bet to $35 with pocket queens and he calls. So far, so good. The flop of 3 king 10 rainbow gets checked to us and here's where the wheels fall off. I bet $20 into 70-ish. Bad. I shouldn't be betting at all. This should be a pure check on my part. Not sure what I was thinking a bet would accomplish here. Was I trying to get a king to fold? Not likely. I block all his draws, so why again am I betting? As played, he calls. The turn brings the 8 of spades, and now I'm completely lost. He checks, and I just check behind. The river 5 of diamonds changed as much as the turn 8 of spades. In other words, nothing, and he checks again. Now I could probably bet small for value, maybe? But I elect not to. I check behind again and table my hand. I didn't note it, but I believe he had pocket 9s. Yuck.
Buses are humming, are you staying, are you coming, babe? Well, you might think you drive me insane. I made the game that you're trying to play. You know, I think that maybe you should know this ain't my first rodeo. I've been around long enough to know there's some things you can't take back. There's some things you just got to let go. Well, I ain't got time to change your mind, 'cause the buses are humming. Are you staying? Are you coming? Come on, baby. Oh, I ain't got time to change your mind, 'cause the buses are humming. Are you staying? Are you coming?
I thought about doing a cool voiceover for this next hand, but I think it speaks for itself, so let's just watch. Ben's getting out of line. Getting out of line. He's getting out of line. I'm all in.
Nice in. The river was rude though. Rude River by Benjamin Adler. So we were doing great. Things were just cruising along until this guy. See this guy?
Yeah.
This is Benjamin Adler. He decides to pick up kings, or your boy picks up ace king. Doesn't end well for me. And I give $400 to this guy. This guy. So yeah, we're not doing as well as we were doing before we started doing the thing with ace king. Right?
Hang in there.
We got it.
Wait. He's doing great. It's the hat. It's the hat. If he didn't have that hat on, he would do better.
That hat had nothing to do with me giving Benjamin Adler $400.
It's the hat.
After the punt to Ben Adler, the table flow sort of went into a lull. The meetup game was slowly coming to an end and people were locking up their winnings and or just leaving the game. I stole a couple really small pots, similar to this one where I overbet turn with ace high and a couple draws and get the fold. Shortly after this hand, I wrap it up and book a small winning session myself.
Are you staying? Are you coming? Well, you might think you're driving me insane, but I made the game that you're trying to play. You know, I think you really ought to know this ain't my first rodeo.
So we are out. We are out of the meetup game and we're on to the next thing. Here's the wrap up for the meetup game. Remember the last time we talked and I told you things were cruising along? I had snapped off kings with aces. I'd won a flip with ace king. I was up, had like $900, $1,000 in front of me. Well, things changed. Ran my ace king into the kings of my buddy Benjamin Adler. Gave him about $400 or $500. Yada yada yada. In for 300, out for 465. So still up, nothing to complain about, just not up like I was during the mid-session update. But the night is still young. It's not even 11 o'clock. So now we have to decide where to go next.
Somos leyenda. Check out. Ok, ja. Dime Ronaldinho. Siendo una leyenda lo sabía desde niño. Fuesen en cariño. Comiendo el almuerzo me faltaba el aliño. Porque no frontea, mini. Si tú tienes porte te lo juro no eres fea. Flow duro como un Lamborghini. Solo a las cosas como quiere y donde sea. Somos leyenda, 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 leyendas vivas. Somos leyenda, 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 leyendas vivas. La gente pone las reglas para que los otros las sigan. Afuera, afuera esa gente que siempre tiene esa manía. Somos somos las leyendas vivas. Somos las leyendas vivas. Stop.
Tonight is not in any other. Friday night, December something. Gotta make a little drive. Got it. A little over 400 there, and then just poker's funny. 1 minute you're up. Johnny Vibes was actually at my table for a while, and